So YouTube has this great feature. If you want to jump to any point in the timeline quickly, you can just press a number. So if I press 5, it'll jump me to 50% of the way through the video I'm watching, or 8 will jump me to 80%, or 3 will jump me to 30%. So I can very, very quickly navigate around a video, especially if it's a longer video. I don't have to hit forward and back with the arrow keys and try to hop, 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 hop all the way to the next point, or have to aim for the timeline and click with the mouse. And so it's a nice feature to have, and I really wanted to see that feature in VLC, because right now the way VLC works is if you are watching a video, all you get are the arrow keys to hop between points. You don't get the ability to jump. Pressing the numbers doesn't do anything. There's no shortcut for percentage jumps. So I created a couple solutions that'll do that, and one solution is cross-platform, and the other one is for Mac users only. It's actually a little bit better if you're on a Mac. So to look at them both, the first solution, I'll get to that in a second here. The first solution is our VLC extensions. These are native extensions for VLC. So if you right-click on a Mac, if you want to install them, you right-click on the VLC icon in Applications folder, and you say Show Package Contents. And then they make you dig in here a little bit. So Contents, macOS, Share, Lua, and Extensions. Now we're gonna copy those Lua extensions into this folder, and when we reopen VLC, we're going to have shortcuts available to us now. So to demonstrate that, I pop this guy back open. Oh, actually, I need to quit that first. So I pop this back open, and in the VLC menu, there's an extensions menu, which now has all of our little shortcuts. So if I choose jump to 50%, sure enough, it jumps us to 50% of the way through the movie. And that's all well and good to be able to choose this from the menu, but what we really want is a keyboard shortcut. So thankfully, any menu item on macOS, you can assign a keyboard shortcut to, and there are other solutions on other platforms. So you can go through and do that manually yourself through System Preferences if that's what you want to do. I also created an AppleScript that will go through and will automatically create those shortcuts for us. So to look at that, I'm going to quit VLC here. We're going to pop it back open in a second. If we close this out now, actually bring this back over here and bring this back over here, there is this AppleScript which I mentioned. So if we pop that open in our script editor, just double click on it, that'll pop it open. You can now, if I hit this button to run the script, you may need to give permissions to script editor to manipulate objects on the screen in assistive devices, and there's some instructions on how to do that. It should guide you through it, give or take. But it'll go through and it'll create, once you give it those permissions, it'll create all these shortcuts for you. Sometimes it mangles the display there. But it goes through all those extensions we just made and gives a keyboard shortcut to them. So now, if I park this guy back over here, we pop a, let's see, we want to pop a video back open. So if we were to go back to VLC, here we are, and now you see in the extensions menu, they all have keyboard shortcut next to them. So if I were to push keyboard shortcut for, Command Option 5, I'm at the 50% mark we were at before, Command Option 4, Command Option 3, we're able to jump around now with keyboard shortcuts, which is very similar to the YouTube functionality. Now this is a little buggy. It works every other time, and I'm not sure if that's a VLC limitation. The script itself is pretty simple, so I'm not sure what else it could be, but if you choose it a second time, it doesn't trigger. It only triggers every odd trigger, if that makes sense. So the good news is this is something cross-platform, so if you can live with triggering it twice, there you go. I wasn't happy with that. I wanted a solution that worked triggering it once, and so I have a set of Automator Scripts, Automator Services rather, which do the same thing. So for the sake of this example, I'm going to quickly go through and remove those extensions so that we can see that that is not functionality we're using here. And we are now going to pop open these Automator scripts. So we've got these, again, these Automator scripts here. And what we want to do is pop open a new window and go to the user folder /library/services. And in this folder, we're going to drop all of these Automator services. We copy those into there. And once it's done with that, we now have all the services in place. Now, one other step you do have to do in order to get them to show up in the services menu, you have to double click on any one of these things, and that will trigger on the system level. It will tell it to rescan the services folder. So we can just quit out of this, and now that should be good to go. So if we pop VLC back open, and we look now in the extension menu is now empty. It doesn't have those shortcuts, but the services menu now has all these shortcuts. And as you see, the keyboard shortcut, the AppleScript that we used earlier works whether or not they're in the extensions or the services. So whether you use the first option, the VLC native extensions, or whether you use this set of Automator services, those keyboard shortcuts that get set up via that AppleScript work in both places. And the good news is this, you can trigger multiple times and it doesn't have the same bugs that the VLC extensions do. So there you go. If anybody knows anything more about VLC extensions and wants to give me some advice on how to solve that problem, or just wants to tell me that, hey, that's the way VLC does things, do let me know. And I hope you enjoy.